Howdy doody, folks. It's that time of the year again, Valentine's Day. And I'm not feeling it this year. I didn't feel it much last year either. So. Oh well. Yeah, that was a fart. I'll tell you what. I bet you feel sorry for this robe, I tell you. I'm always wearing it in these videos. But don't worry, I wash it weekly, so I'm just pretty much in it all the time. Sitting around the house. I need to get some Zelda in today, but I'm never going to get to it if I don't get this video right. Or get it done or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling the Valentine's Day too much this year. I haven't felt it very strongly for a while. Well, not since 2004. 2004 was huge. I felt it big time then. I had the hots for this girl, Michelle. And she's the last girl I've really loved, and I hadn't seen her in over 2 years. So I haven't loved anybody at all since then. I haven't even had a crush on anybody since then. I guess I'm just getting too old for that kind of stuff, you know. I don't know. And it seems like, you know, I've pretty much outlived my usefulness. As far as being a young guy, my young years are over. There's no more of this, you know, playing around and flirting or any of that. It's funny because you always hear these people say things like, well, you gotta tell them how you feel. You gotta tell them now before you die. You gotta tell them why you still have a chance, because pretty soon you might not have a chance. And that's basically, I've lived by that. I've followed that advice all throughout my life. And it's ultimately, all it's done is gotten me in trouble. I haven't gotten any restraining orders yet, but I'm surprised just about that I haven't, because when girls see me, they see a shy guy. They see some guy who doesn't speak to anybody. So when he comes up and speaks to them, it's a big surprise. They figure there must be a big reason for that. And ultimately, they're right. There is a big reason. It has to be a pretty big reason to get me to overcome my shyness and say something. The problem is that most of the time, I don't get the nerve to say it to their face. I end up leaving them a note or something, and then they end up not speaking to me for the next 3 days or 8 months. It's gone, you know, there's varying amounts of time that the silent treatment has lasted. I mean, in one case I bought a girl a pack of M&Ms, and I left it in this little plastic or paper bag, and I wrote this little note on the bag. It said, you know, something like, these are for you, and so, and I said, hope you have a good day, whatever. I signed my name Tim and drew a little flower next to it. Well, I think the flower was the problem, because after that, you know, 3 days went by and she didn't say a thing to me. We were right there together in a gas station. She didn't say a thing to me. So I assume, you know, she, you know, knew what it meant. She knew what I was hinting at, and I ruined my chance. But I was just listening to those people who say you got to tell them how you feel, so I did. Or I tried. Maybe that wasn't the way to go about it, but, you know, it's like those guys in Hitch say, you can't just walk up to them and say, I like you. You can't just do that. There's no easy way to tell whether they're married, and 9 times out of 10 they are. I don't know. And then this other one, I left a note for her in the break room one day that said something like, good morning, and, you know, hope your Tuesday treats you well. I still remember that it was Tuesday because it was that traumatic, you know. And then I signed it Hugs Tim. I shouldn't have signed it Hugs, you know, and that was, you know, I know right then and there that was the mistake I made. So she knew that because I signed it Hugs, I wanted to get it on with her, you know. They just automatically assume that it's a marriage proposal. So she didn't speak to me for about 8 months. And it's not like we were, you know, huge conversationalists anyway. We just happened to talk when we were in the same room or something. We didn't have some huge friendship going. But it's like most of the time I'm just looking for a friend, and I don't know how to get these, you know, how to get any of these girls to understand that I want to be with them. I want to spend time with them, but I don't want to come across like I'm proposing to them. So, you know, where is the line? I can't figure it out. I honestly can't. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I've tried to be as subtle as I can, but I guess I'm not being subtle enough. You know, I try to be subtle by just pretending that I'm not thinking something every time I walk by. You know, or like if I'm sitting there, like if a song's playing on the radio, it's a good song or something, and as I walk by the cabinet, I'll just drum part of it on the cabinet as I walk by. Like this one day, Carly Simon, You're So Vain was on. She's like, I had some dreams, there were clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee, and you're That's what I did. I drummed that on the cabinet as I walked. It was perfect timing. But I still remember the littlest things that I've done, trying to drop these hints, and what hint I'm even trying to drop there, I have no idea. Am I trying to say that she's vain? Am I admitting that I'm vain? I don't know. I don't know if she's taken anything from that. I just don't know how to communicate with people. I don't know how to get it across. So this Valentine's Day, I'm not really getting any huge hopes up for anything remarkable to happen. Even if somebody just left me an anonymous Valentine card, that would be cool. It'd be cool just knowing. I wouldn't even ever have to find out who it was, just to know that somebody actually did like me that way. I have a feeling right now that somebody at work does kind of like me that way, and I think they're jealous of someone else that I've been checking out because she's really hot. So, I don't know. Maybe that's... I don't know. I'm just... I don't know. I never know. I'm always trying to, insinuate, trying to make my life more interesting than it is, because it can't possibly get any less interesting, so I gotta make this stuff up like this. So I don't know if anything is really happening there. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but chances are that it isn't. So these 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Getting to the end here, and I don't really have anything else to say anyway, though. So, screw Valentine's Day. Well, I don't say screw it. I'm not one of those people that hates Valentine's Day. Some people just hate it, and I don't get that, but I guess it's their right. I don't know, man. Well, I'm trying to think of some other example. Well, this one there was one time I actually did get the courage to walk up to a girl and, ask her out to the movies. And she said she would have to check her schedule and get back to me, which she never did, so boo-hoo. There was one in Beverly. I asked her to the movies once, and she went with me. That was after we had already become friends. The thing with Beverly is that even though she knew that I liked her, she was still willing to hang out with me as a friend. It didn't freak her out that I liked her. And all my family was always trying to tell me she was just taking advantage of me, but it's like, well, don't even get me started on that. They would get all worked up because she, borrowed $10 from me. Meanwhile, they're taking half of my paycheck every week. Beside the point. I don't know. Shoot, man, I should have... and the biggest mistake I ever made was moving to Virginia, because I moved away from Michelle, the last one. And she was the one that, without a doubt, I felt like I had a better chance with her than with anyone. And this girl, oh my God. She was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. I can still see her face even now. And I just picked up and went to Virginia. What the hell was I thinking? By the time I came back here again, I came back, started at that job, and she was still there. But then the first thing I see when I go in to look at the schedule, she's quitting on the 4th day after I come back. So right away I'm thinking, oh, she must have quit because I came back. So it was no wonder I couldn't say anything to her, because, geez, what a coincidence. I didn't know what else to assume. I thought she was quitting because I came back. Of course, on the 3rd of those 4 days, I found out, well, it's because she got a different job. But, oh well. I never should have walked away from her. I never should have done that. Because I loved her. But now she's married too, so... I think she is. I don't know. So that's where we stand. 30 years old, still single, never been kissed, still a virgin. And it's not hard to see why. When you can't look people in the eyes, you can't very well impress much of anybody. It's like, it sounds so easy to just look at them, but can't do that. Never could. Probably never will. I always thought by the time I got this old, I would have found a way to solve that problem, but no. So the best I can hope for is to get famous or something, because there ain't no other way I'm going to make any kind of a mark on this world or on anyone's memory. I'll always just be some little recluse, derelict or something. I don't know. Oh well. Bye-bye.